All right, we're back again with another episode of Tatt Chat. We're here with a good buddy of ours. Why don't you introduce yourself? First of all, we need your name. We need where you tattoo, what kind of tattoos you do, and how long you've been tattooing.
My name is Danny the Machine. I tattoo in Fresno. My shop's name is Don't Tell Mom. Private studio for the past 5 years. I tattoo a little bit of everything. I never specialize in anything, but I like doing almost anything. I'll spend all day doing tribal because I just love drawing on people all day. I feel like a kid sometimes. Watercolors is fun because I get to color outside the lines.
Right.
Biomech is fun, really fun because you get really creative and trying to make it look good.
Yep, yeah, looking good is important in that style.
Yeah. Anime, bright, bold, colorful, good, clean, crisp lines. I love all that stuff.
Yep.
But
Cartoons are good.
Cartoons are fun. I like doing dot work, mandalas too. Those have been the biggest passions of mine for the past few years. Is bio, dot work, solid black work, and clean lines.
Cool.
Bright, bold colors.
Okay.
Those are always fun.
Cool. Yeah. Solid line is the foundation of a good tattoo.
Right.
Without them, you're lost in the woods.
You could have great coloring, but shit lines, and you could see that from the room away.
Yeah. Yep, that was always the struggle in the beginning, right? Line work was tough, but if you could kind of pack the color in there good, you could kind of try and hide it a little bit. Yeah, you figured it out, and then you got better at line work, and from there you're off to the races.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. So first question I like to ask everybody is, how did you find tattooing? How did you discover it? Like, did you have a mom, an uncle, a dad?
My stepdad, who raised me since I was 2, so he's my dad.
Okay.
He had a bunch of old school gangster stuff. Thought it was the coolest stuff ever. That's why I got the spider on my hand, because I had to cover up his spider on his hand because he thought it wouldn't look good for work, so we did a Sacred Heart over it. And so I got the spider since he didn't have it anymore.
Okay.
Because I liked it. It was one of the ones that I saw on him from an early age, since I was like 5, that I remembered so much. Uncles had tattoos on my dad's side, not on my mom's side.
Okay.
And then when I turned probably 14, I was trying to figure out, I was always an artist since I was like 8, drawing all the time, and then I realized that I want tattoos when I grow up. So I was always getting tattoo magazines. I still have my first tattoo magazine ever from 1993.
Nice.
I have all my magazines. I collect a lot of shit.
That's cool.
A hoarder a little bit.
Most artists are.
Yeah, so I was drawing a bunch of stuff. I'm like, tribal's the coolest thing ever. And then I went and got my first tattoo when I turned 18, and I was on house arrest. So I used up my shopping time that was for the week. It's 4 hours, you get shopping time.
Okay.
And I went and got tattooed from Ron Earhart in Fresno. When he was in Fresno, that was my first tattoo. Some bio.
Fuck yeah.
Because he saw my tribal. He's like, that's cool. Can I do something cool that I think is cool too? I'm like, sure, let's see what you got. He sat back there for a few minutes and drew that up. I'm like, oh my God. That's even better than what I even thought could happen on tattoos, because I only seen old ass magazines and tribal
biker stuff.
Yeah. So Ron did that for me, and that was my first tattoo ever. So I got the outline done in my 4 hours.
Okay.
The next couple weeks I scheduled another one to get the coloring done.
Okay.
So I got that done, and from that moment on, I was like, oh my God, I gotta do this.
Hooked.
I was on house arrest. So I have all these old tattoo magazines too, and I'm like, I could afford a $100 tattoo kit.
Yep.
That's all it takes, Jesus. So then I buy it, and start fucking up my friends. All of them, like 20 kids, I just start fucking up. I'm on house arrest. I have nothing else better to do but work and do tattoos on my friends.
Yes.
And
awesome.
so I start doing that. I start getting a little better. It really, in 6 months, I understood the mechanics, but I also upgraded to the Superior Soft Touch model of their kit.
Okay.
I still have that machine too because I hoard.
Sick.
So I've redone everything on it. New coils, redid some stuff, shaped it a little bit differently. Back in my building days, and I remember, like, it took me 6 months of having that kit. And then I got offered a job at a shop, and I was off house arrest.
Okay.
And I was working at Walmart overnight, graveyard shift, maintenance. And I was trying to go to City College, Fresno City College. And I ended up falling asleep too many times at City College because I was trying to also tattoo at the shop that I got hired on. So I'm like, I can't do Walmart, I can't do School, it's all tattoos. Let's do it. Fuck it. Went and started working there, and I worked at Legends Tattoo in Fresno back when they were open, and that was a fun shop. That shop taught me a lot of stuff not to do.
Those are important.
Those are important because I learned a lot of stuff what I shouldn't do. Like, you shouldn't take all the money from the safe and spend it on meth every weekend, and decide that you want to shoot up the shop cameras that you bought. Like, the owners of that place was crazy. They were fun. But I learned what not to do at the tattoo shop then.
Perfect.
And so ever since getting that kit, man, it's just been nonstop tattooing, and I'd get regular jobs. If I felt like I didn't appreciate tattooing enough, I would get a regular job. Mm-hmm. And get 6 months, a year of a regular job, and you're like, fuck, I really need to step up my game and do better with tattooing, but also still appreciate it more, because tattooing is one of those things I feel that you get back what you put into it.
Absolutely.
If you put garbage and shit and don't care about it anymore, it's going to pay you back. Same thing.
Yep, in spades.
In spades. So I've done that. I do that every once in a while.
Okay. I worked for a guy in Hawaii that did the exact same thing every once in a while. He'd get a little part-time job on the side to just be like, oh man, this sucks. Yeah, tattooing's the coolest.
Yeah, tattooing's fun. And my stepdad, my dad, he taught me from when I was 14 to do landscaping. Okay. So I would always, every once in a while, start my little landscaping company again too. Just to me, it's getting paid to work out. Yeah. But it's also still, it's like, fuck, I'm sweating my ass off and cutting myself, and allergies appear when they weren't there before because I'm smelling all this grass that I cut all day. You feel sick for 2 days after that first time of cutting 10 yards a day.
Yep.
And it's like, man, yeah, I love tattooing and not sweating.
Or having to tattoo so much you sweat from tattooing, which is cool.
Or sometimes we had those shops that, oh, fuck, it's summertime and your AC broke. Shit, I'm sweating on this tattoo.
Yep.
Alcohol will clean it.
Yep.
It's fine.
Hawaii was the same
way. Back in the day. Yeah, I started tattooing in 99 too, so.
Okay.
I've been tattooing since 1999 in a shop.
Okay.
And, only at the house for a little bit, and then.
That's crazy.
All that
So no apprenticeship then?
No apprenticeship.
Just
I learned
straight
the hard way.
Yep.
The
back door. Especially back then.
Back then, the shop that I worked at was great for that because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah, well,
so it's
like
they gave me the opportunity to jump in there, and I that shop, it was back in '99 in Fresno. There was only 4 shops, and at that time, big, humongous. Everybody getting tattooed.
Right. Yeah.
So I had
90s were great.
Wonderful. Sat down and had a year. But it's like, even the early 2000s were super fun.
Oh, they're great.
And so I tattooed as much as I wanted to. I could tattoo from 12 to 2 in the morning if I wanted to.
Yep.
And for that
the
whole
more money, the better, right?
Exactly. That whole first month, I couldn't feel my thumb. I was tattooing so much.
Yep.
A whole month. I was like, I think the feeling will come back. I'm just going to keep doing this. Maybe I'll start taking days off and let my thumb heal or whatever it's doing.
Okay. Yeah.
So, doing that many tattoos in a street shop, because we are Cherry Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Every Cherry Creek flash set up there. That octopus, that blue one and that red one, I think I did those 20 times that first year.
That dragon everybody wanted but couldn't afford. And yeah.
I love those things. Happy Jesus.
The uber happy Jesus.
Fun. I
those
love
are the
that
best.
stuff.
Yeah. Shout out to Cherry Creek, man. If I ever run into you guys, I owe you dinner, at least.
I think every one of us that's been tattooing 20 plus years owes you guys dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. I started my apprenticeship in '99, so
nice.
yeah.
I did too, but self-taught.
Well, yeah. Either way.
The harder way. My ego got pretty big though, and luckily I humbled myself. And
okay, how did you do that?
I thought I was the shit at everything, and then I actually saw some real good lettering. I'm like, oh, I fucking couldn't do that. So then I think I just only practiced lettering for a month or 2. And just every time I got a chance to draw, it was lettering.
Yep.
Just so I could be like, now I'm a little more undeniable at that. But now these guys are crazy with lettering. I'm
so
like,
good.
fuck.
That's all they do.
Yeah. Oh.
And they just flow. It's like a dance.
Yeah,
it's a
so
delicate
good.
dance.
So good.
Yep.
But yeah, so I humbled myself with that kind of stuff. It's like, I thought, and kept telling myself, I'm the shit at this. It's like, actually, I'm shit at this. So it's like, fuck.
Yep.
Okay, you look at somebody really doing some stuff, you're like, fuck, okay, I can't do that. But I'm going to. Give me a month.
Right.
and I'll practice my ass off.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I think that's the trap with tattooing, because no one tells you suck.
Yeah, it's
Your
hard.
clients are just, oh man, it's awesome. And it doesn't matter.
That's
how-
what helps me get that ego.
Exactly.
Clients give you anything you want
Yeah.
and tell you you're the shit and you're awesome.
And your boss is just like, oh, you're doing good. You're dropping lots of money. Because,
Yeah.
back then, that's what most, depending. But, most of them only cared about making money.
man.
So, oh, you're doing good, kid.
That first stint at that first shop I worked at too, I think I did 6 months straight, and I was getting paid a salary.
Oh, okay.
Horrible. I was making $1,000 a week. I was like, this is great. I get to draw on people all day and make it. But still, and then I did the math. I'm like, oh, people make percentages? Oh, I'm fucked. Oh, they're making so much money off me. So then I left to another shop,
Okay.
Blackstone Tattoo. TG was the owner. This guy had sausage fingers and just a big old maniac. Fun guy. And then I went back to the other shop, Legends, and then did a percentage. Did it better there.
Okay.
I never did a booth rental, ever.
Yeah, I never got one either. I just became an owner before I
Right,
got one. I
right.
worked for 60/40, mine,
Nice.
the entirety half, I got it. Well, what people don't understand too, like the kids nowadays get everything. When I first started, I was not allowed a business card.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get my own. I got a shop card, write your name on the back.
Yeah.
That's as best as you can do.
Yeah.
First 10 years, I didn't have a card.
Shit.
Yeah, I was not allowed. I remember asking, oh, can I get a business? What the fuck do you need that for? Just write your name on the back, blah, 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 And then I worked at shops and, saw people's names on the door. I never got my name on the door, whatever. Until Sean Warcott finally put my name on the door, Empire Tattoo.
Nice.
And I was just like, oh, man, it was the most amazing day. And the guys were like, oh, my name's been on the door since I started here. I'm like, fuck you, kid, like, you've been tattooing 5 years, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
But remember, you couldn't keep contact info.
Couldn't.
No. You couldn't be like, hey, man, I need your phone number to call you back. And nope, fuck you. No, that's my client. It was different. It was totally different.
That's a shop client, no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can call your aunt, her number, or your uncle or whoever, your stupid friend from down the street that's gullible and wants tats or whatever. Like, you were allowed that, but that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a totally different world.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing. Like, kids are always like, oh, you guys are salty. And it's like, no, man, we had a different thing, We have a different appreciation for it because of how much harder we had to work for it.
The appreciation kids don't have. Because, maybe they appreciate it a little bit, but they don't have the kind of appreciation. Because we had to work our ass off to get it better. And then they don't appreciate, they just come in and start doing awesome stuff. It's like, yeah, but we made it possible for you to do that by innovating and creating stuff and putting it out there.
Creating the demand. Creating the demand for it.
Creating different techniques and different needle groupings and different machines. Shit. I remember back in 2001 trying to figure out how to make a battery pack fit on a coil machine. I broke apart so many electric razors doing that and still was like, none of it's really working. That battery lasts 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Doesn't work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We had people do it for us, too. Ed Hardy. Ed Hardy made it viable. He made it available. He made a demand for tattooing. Yeah. And we benefited because of that.
Yeah. We stood on their shoulders, and now these kids are standing on our shoulders, and then can tell us to fuck off and not give a fuck about it.
Unfortunately, they're shitting on us while they're doing it.
They are.
a little bit. Not all of them.
Not all
there's
of them.
Some good
some
kids.
of them understand.
Yeah, no, there's some really good kids out there.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate them. And, it's our job to give them what was given to us, Yeah. I know a lot of people of our generation talk bad about the kids, but I'm like, dude, somebody's got to give it to them. And remember, they said about us.
All we can do is talk to them these days and explain our ideas on it. And hopefully they get it or they don't.
Try to give them an appreciation for the history of where it all comes from, too, because I feel like that's so important. It's a language that's not necessarily written; it's spoken.
Yeah,
a lot of it. So, which is part of this podcast. This idea is to get some of that on record for all time.
I don't think I appreciated the art of tattooing or the history of tattooing and who came before me for like the first 10 years too.
No.
My first shop was me learning myself and learning what not to do business wise from them. Yep. So they never gave me any knowledge on what I should do that's a little bit better.
Yeah.
I had to figure that one out myself too. Or hear other people talk.
Right.
And talk to other people too.
And that's super important.
It is.
Getting out of your, all these kids in their private studios. We're talking to you,
And me.
Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, but you get out.
Yeah.
Like, we're at Fresno, right? Or we're not in Fresno now. We're in Feather Falls at a tattoo convention with fucking the who's who of tattooing in the area.
Yep.
And from Hawaii and fucking dudes from Switzerland and Dallas, and there's people here from all over, man. This is the meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So that's important. Just don't stay in your hole. Like, get out, travel.
Yeah.
Go to places, learn, humble yourself.
I think that was a big problem in my first 10 years too. I never traveled anywhere. I stayed in Fresno with miserable people, which turned myself miserable for a little while too. And so I come off like an asshole sometimes. And I try try to soften myself up too. It's like I never had such good groups of people to work with, and I try to create that with some of my shops previously. And it's like
it's hard.
It's hard
It's
to
so
get a good
hard.
group of guys
And to keep them.
and
You
keep
can
them.
get them, but to keep them.
Yeah.
Man, it's, I want to do it my way.
Yeah.
Oh, man, every artist wants to do it their way.
Yeah.
Trust me, kids. Bugs told me a long time ago. If you don't know who Bugs is, look him up. He's
Look
an
him up.
amazing tattooer.
Abstract. Oh.
Yeah. Cubism. I mean, he doing lots of cool shit long before all these artsy-fartsy tattooers came along. He did it first and proved it was valid if you did it right. But he told me, he's like, oh, kid, don't do it. Don't open a shop. He's like, just find somebody you want to work for that you really admire and respect. And he goes, just put your head down and grind. He's like, don't fucking do it. And a couple years into owning a shop, I feel that in my core.
Yeah.
But, you're probably good at one or the other. You're either good at business or you're good at tattooing. It's hard to be very good at both.
It takes a long time to really get that down.
Absolutely.
And then sometimes these kids don't understand. It's like, hey, I'm making sure the lights are on and bills are paid and supplies that I supply you are in that cabinet. And you have AC and lights, and please tattoo, but appreciate a little bit of it.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to.
Yeah.
Even when I worked at my shop, I'm like, this is bullshit. But then I realized, hey, they do a lot for me.
Yeah.
It's not all just me doing this. It's,
Yeah. When all the bills are yours.
Yeah.
Heavy as the head.
You're like, fuck.
Yep. Yeah, no, for sure. It's a lot of responsibility. It is to do it right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can half-ass it.
It's a learning process. A good, fun learning process sometimes.
It is, yeah. No, it's the good and the bad times, yeah, for sure. It's much like oil painting. I remember I had a teacher tell me, he's like, oh, man, that's a really long learning curve. He goes, by the time you finally think you got it figured out, there's so much more, and you're, just never ends.
Yeah.
Tattooing and the business of tattooing, I feel like, is much the same way. It's
I mean, just any kind of art too, any kind of
Yeah.
thing, like traditional tattoos.
Yeah.
Draw me a good traditional tattoo. You, Mister, I do photorealism all day.
Yeah.
You say that's easy?
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Draw me up a good one and tattoo a good one.
Yep.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I did it my way. I always love that excuse on the TV shows. Oh, I did my wings. Oh, your wings look like shit, bro. You should have just copied Jerry.
Yeah.
Tweaked it two millimeters, and I'm like, yeah, I did it myself. Like whatever. And that's what we all did. That's how we learned, right? Copying, tracing. A lot of kids don't place value in that anymore. They just want to go straight to having a style and being original. They always, it's got to be original. Got to be original. Like, nothing's fucking original, dude. You did not invent the dragon.
Ignorant style is kind of original.
No, we did that as kids.
Right?
Mom had it on the refrigerator. Oh, look at what Danny drew. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a fun style.
It pays the bills if you can get good at it. These kids are balling out of control with it. They are.
Do you charge $200 for that?
Yeah, it takes you 2 seconds, and you barely have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you kind of almost don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like if you paint flash too good and you're like, I just want to get a little buzz so it's a little loose and sloppy so it doesn't look perfect, right? So it looks more authentic. I had an old mentor of mine tell me that once. I ran into him coming out of the grocery store. He had a 6-pack, and I'm like, you don't drink? He's like, I do occasionally because my flash looks too good, so I gotta get a little buzz so it's loose. I'm like, oh my god, and he wasn't wrong. I mean, he was a phenomenal artist.
Yeah, when I paint, I do like to drink my whiskey.
Yeah, it loosens things up a little bit. Yeah.
Think things a little bit differently.
For sure. Yep. Yeah, our oil classes I used to take in Hawaii, the teacher would always encourage people to bring in wine. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, just a little bit of red wine, a little bit of oil.
Okay.
Some nice classical music.
If you're doing some oil painting, I can see wine and classical music being
perfect, or a little jazz.
Jazz.
Something free, something fun, something loose.
Acid jazz.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. All right, man. Ron Earhart, what a great first tattoo, dude.
Oh.
What a legend to get tattooed by.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even realize it until like a little while too. And
Right.
it's like, Jesus, okay. I was already at that first shop of mine when I realized Ron Earhart. I'm like, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
That shit's amazing. And then it's like Aaron Kane, Atchison, and all those other guys. And Nate at Acme too. He's amazing too. Mm-hmm. I like his stuff a lot.
Yeah, lesser known for sure. Definitely look up all those names if they don't sound familiar. And
Nate Banuelos, Ron Earhart, Guy Atchison, Aaron Kane.
Yep.
His machines. Oof.
I brought some with me.
Nice.
Been putting them to use. Yep. I remember Scott Sterling talking about a machine that he had for 15 or 20 years, and he's like, I never even turned the contact screw. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Every machine I got, the contact screw eventually needs a little filing or a little turn. Aaron Kane, I got it in 2016. A customer gave it to me as a tip for a bodysuit that I'm still working on.
Nice.
And I think last year I finally made just the tiniest little quarter turn on it. I was like, I suppose it's possible.
It helps when you don't drop machines on accident.
That too.
Fuck.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, the pens are getting thrown away by apprentices. I know a few people that like had their apprentice throw their pen away. I don't know
Nice.
how. Yeah, doing supply runs, I ran into a few of those.
Yeah. The pens, I mean, I switched up to rotaries too. Rotaries, I use like a swash drive first.
Okay.
And
Yep,
I was trying to do like shading first. And I was like, okay, shading is smooth with these rotaries. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I kept my coil machines for lining for many years.
Yep.
And then then the pins came along, and I was like, dildo machine. And I was against them at first as well. And then I just wanted to get one off the truck, and I was like, okay, I'll try this little thing. Everybody's doing some okay stuff with it, but
Yeah.
so I got one. I'm like, oh, I see. And then, yeah, there's no learning curve, especially if you already tattoo with a coil machine. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's too easy.
Yeah. It takes a tattoo or two, and you're like, oh, I'm done. God, this is it.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
then,
I'm done.
I've been pins for a long time, but when I go do expos, I'm always the pin. But I use coils at the shop too. I keep them in rotation.
Okay.
Because first of all, I have so much supplies.
Right.
And it's like, I have to, because I still love coil machines and what they do.
Yeah.
And I have my first coil machine. I still use that thing.
I still have mine too.
So it's like, I want to use it. I don't want to just let it collect dust. It feels dumb to just have it in a box, not doing anything.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the pins helped make it convenient for expos.
Travel. Yeah.
Travel
is great. Yeah, absolutely. If people go to Europe or go across America or whatever, yeah, it's, how do you beat it? I mean, you can get so many more needles in a small area. You have one thing. It's like being a black and gray tattooer. I have my bottle of ink, bro. I'm ready to go. Like, if you do color, you're like, fuck, what colors do I need?
Yeah.
I need this, I need that, You need to pack like a bazillion and then hope they don't explode. And it's always something.
Everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, we've all got a suitcase or a travel bag with
Ink all over.
ink everywhere. Yeah, it looks like a Jackson Pollock painting for sure. Yep. Okay, that's always one question I ask is rotaries or coils and why. I definitely agree. There's a time and a place for everything. I think a warrior is familiar with all weapons of war. A gardener is familiar with all the tools of a gardener and the seasons, and it's the same thing. Artist. That's the whole point of being a master artist is mastering all the tools and mediums of your chosen style.
I remember a couple years back at the Fresno Tattoo Expo, I did a wonderful traditional piece, but I did it with a rotary. I mean, a pin style.
Yeah.
And it goes up to get judged, and everybody's loving it. And then one of the judges is like, was it done with a loud machine or a quiet machine? I'm like, fuck. I know exactly why you asked that. And yeah, it hurts a little bit now. Because it was great. I'm like, oh, I could have done it with a coil too. Damn it.
Right.
And it's at home. It's my home expos too. So it's like, I could have brought my coils.
Yeah, you're right down the street, essentially. Yep.
Yeah. That one hurt a little bit. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I got it though. I understood.
Yeah. There's those purists. Basically, my issue with them is making sure that you keep your money in tattooing.
Yeah.
Like whatever company you're getting something from is supporting a tattooer
Yeah.
You know, because it's almost over.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know or not, but Nexus doesn't exist anymore. They got bought out by a bigger corporation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
FK Irons, all of it, it's all one big
all
company.
one big
now.
company,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. I heard they spent like $3 billion on acquiring both of them. Crazy, right? Could you ever imagine tattooing being a $3 billion industry?
Not when I started.
No.
Not the first 15 years.
No, exactly. Yeah.
When the shows came out, I kind of was like, oh, it's getting big.
Right?
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
And
No,
then now we
that's
have
when things change.
A
for
million
sure.
tattooers now too, and I'm like, everybody tattoos.
Oh, yeah. Everybody I run into is like, oh, I got a kit. Oh, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I draw really well. My mom likes my drawings. Of course she does.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, they're
I
still
see
open
you-
the fridge. That's cool.
Right. I see you have a bendy machine as well. A bendy tattoo machine. I can see it right there.
Yes.
Classic. Yeah. Yeah. You're not a real tattooer if you don't have a bendy tattoo machine.
New school was awesome.
Oh, dude.
It still is.
Yeah, it is. It is. I got a bendy tattoo machine on my hand. You know, that was my. I'm never doing anything else again.
Right.
Here, there's no going back for my hand tat, right? You know, like, not in the Midwest, anyways. That's where I got
Yeah.
mine. Yeah. So, yeah, crazy to hear the stories of how Philip Liu did the first one, and like so that dude traveled like up and down California, and everybody blew. Oh my god! And that was the seed that planted. But yeah, all the way from Europe
His stuff
came
was
over
awesome.
here.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Well,
He changed some stuff.
God, yeah.
So many people changed some stuff.
Yeah. Everybody. Well, I feel like that's kind of your goal, right? Like I was always taught by the old timers that you have to give something back. You can't just take. Like you said, it gives you get what you give with tattooing for sure. It
Yeah.
keeps very good accounting
Yeah.
of your time in it and what you do with it.
Very true.
So I was always taught, you got to do something for tattooing to keep it good for you. And I'm like, okay, well, I can build a machine, but not really well. I'm not Aaron Kane. I'm not Scott Sterling. I have no lineage to speak of in that. So, and I'm like, I'm not going to guy at you that, I'm going to reinvent tattooing and write this whole manual on how to use Photoshop. And like, that's not my thing. So
Interesting book, though. I loved it.
Great. Yeah, a lot of people learned. That was an apprenticeship in a book and
It
a
was.
DVD. Yeah.
It was.
I met a lot of people that learned to tattoo from that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for sure. Now it's just all over the YouTube.
Yeah. I was never taught that, though, like to give something back. And that one I had to learn myself, too, the hard way.
Right.
Just listening to people and realizing it and doing my side jobs so that I sweat and appreciate the tattoo part more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, that's why I started the supply company. That was like, okay, well, tattooers are going to need supplies, and let's support these tattooer-owned companies.
That's how I met you first. I think it was probably this Oroville one.
And then
Fresno.
you started Fresno first, 2020, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we did Oroville like a week later.
A week later.
Yeah, we had 2 days notice.
But that's how I met you guys too. Loved you guys. You guys are awesome, and all the stuff you guys supply is great stuff. And
Thank you. We try.
Which is why also I always make sure I don't bring certain things just so I can buy them when I'm here.
And we appreciate it. But that's what it's about, is like giving back, like it's important. You don't have to do it right away in your career, but at a certain point in time, it kind of becomes a duty.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
You're
It's just
20
like
years in and
you
you've given
realize, like, if you spend locally in your place, it builds up more of that local economy. So
Same thing.
spending more into the tattoo supply companies that I want to support means more to me than spending less money with one that just has cheaper shit.
Yeah. Or they're just in it for the money.
They're just in it for the money. Yeah.
It's the big thing right now. It's like smoke shops. Oh man, everybody had got to start a smoke shop. Got to start a smoke shop. Now they're all going out of business because the money's drying up.
Yeah, they can't even sell these things in California anymore.
I know, right? It's fucking crazy. But yeah, so that's my only issue with the pens is just make sure, there's a couple out there. There's Carson Hill has Numa, great pen, and then Emerson has the Sharp hatchback irons.
I haven't even tried that.
Yeah. I
The
hear good
Numas
things.
are fun though, yeah.
Numas are cool because they're
Numas are
heavy.
cool. They're heavy.
Yeah,
I
and
do
they
like the
sound.
heavy.
They got a sound.
Got a feel, a sound, a soul.
Yeah, and a tattooer's making the money, so fucking A.
Yeah.
There you go, kids. That's the way to do
I
it.
wanted Numa stuff for the longest time since you had to, they were all operated by the air.
Yep.
You had to run airlines. I'm like, this is great. I can't afford any of it, but when I can, I want to get this set up, have the compressor in the back, and and
I worked
do
for a
all that
guy in
stuff.
Hawaii that had one. The compressor was right under the drawing table in the back room. Oh my god. It was really cool, but boy, it was really shitty to have to work on drawings.
And even like finding out a little bit of history about how he was doing it and stuff is like he started with dental equipment. I'm like, nice. That makes sense because they use air compressors,
Yep,
and you hear all that, and that makes a lot of sense to do it that way.
Right.
And then now that the batteries are so good.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
10 plus hours easy on like really good ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know, I like to buy crappy and cheap stuff sometimes, but I'll spend the good money on stuff.
Right.
Most of my batteries for my pen machine, those are $60 batteries, and they've lasted me forever. And I was very anti the batteries for a while too. Even I had a cord to my power supply and never wanted to do it, but it was a Friday the 13th event that I went and helped my buddy Billy Vaughn at his shop, Modern Electric Tattoo Company in Bakersfield. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't bring my power supply, but I have my batteries that I just have, and I've never used them. So then I used them that whole day, and I'm like, why do I need a power supply? Damn it.
One more thing,
One more thing. But I need my power supply still for when I use coils. But yeah, I never run the pins on a power supply anymore. It's battery. It's like one day of doing 30 Friday the 13th tattoos, and I'm like, okay, I like the batteries now. I understand.
Yeah,
it's easy, it's convenient.
Yeah. It's so convenient. The kids are strung out on it. You know, that's what's changed tattooing the most is just the convenience of it now.
Yeah.
It used to be so hard. Why is my machine spitting? Well, it could be your rubber bands. You might need a better bend. Your tube might be bent because you dropped it or you're scrubbing it because you're an idiot. It could be your grommet. It could be that you don't, your grommet shit. You should use a paper towel.
Yeah.
You should learn some origami.
Right.
There's so many factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learning all that stuff by myself was fun too, because I just
bet.
I've seen a picture in a tattoo magazine. What the hell are they using? Oh, I'm gonna try that. Just experimenting was fun. The paper towel thing. I saw a couple people do it, and then I started using paper towels in lieu of grommets, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Bending the needles and bending the needle bar, figuring out all the little things out, figuring out why. And then, I think the biggest thing with coil machines is when I started building them and toying with it that way, is I had a better understanding of my machine and why I have certain things on there to do certain things, and that changed my ideas. And I started doing that with Noe Lopez from Contra Tattoo. He would build some machines, and I started messing with it and toying with it that way, and that changed my idea on coil machines too. It's like, fuck, now I know so much more just because I'm building them, and why the angles of everything, my geometry of the machine, and everything. It's like, Jesus.
Bends on the springs, how much is enough, how much is too much, what makes it run warm.
Shit, even just the cutters you use for your springs. Which one, if I use this one, it bends up that whole spring. If I use this serrated one, it keeps the cut nice and straight. Okay.
Yeah. Springs are hard to cut.
They are.
That's an art. When you see really good, well-cut springs, it's just like, ooh.
Yeah. And O-rings, bends, no O-rings. You're like, oh my God, there's so much to learn. But once you start doing it, you kind of get it. Yeah. But I think you still keep learning though with machines.
Yeah. I mean,
new materials.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Aaron Kane and his meteorite things and shit.
It's like
that's crazy. I love it.
He's making jewelry at this point.
Yeah, he's making some jewelry too.
It might as well be jewelry. He's using jewelers' tools to make tattoo machines. It's unreal.
Yeah.
It's just on another level.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, every time he makes a post, I'm like, oh, I wish I had more money.
Did you ever see that TV show Tattoo Wars?
I've heard about it. I've never.
I have the CDs. Of course, they were not bought or anything. They were downloaded from somewhere. Pirated. And the Tattoo Wars show was awesome. I'm like, why did this not go anywhere? Because tattoo artists love it, not the general.
It was made for tattooers.
It was not made for tattooers. And that Aaron Kane one was awesome. Him and who did he do that with? Was it Guy? No, it wasn't Guy Atchison. They did one side by side on
the same guy's arms.
On the Saber. The
graffiti guy, That was in Tattoo Artist Magazine. That was the first ever article in TAM. Shout out to Crash.
That's a great magazine too.
Fuck, man. If you can get your hands on any copies of that, kids, that's gold.
I have like 15 copies.
I've got all of them.
Nice.
This year, I completed the collection. I was missing number 8.
I think I just like to get them for the sticker even too.
Oh, the DVDs too.
And the DVDs.
They had the interviews, the video interviews,
But
that supplemented.
That DVD showed Aaron Kane making some machines too, and having all his pneumatic stuff and all his workshop. I'm like, that is a motherfucking workshop,
dude.
He has everything in there.
Yeah, you have to make what he makes.
Yeah,
art.
I love his style of bio too.
It's pretty much the best. I like Ron's too, though.
I love Ron's.
I love.
It's a different style.
Yeah.
It's a different style.
Yeah.
You know, their line weights are way different.
Yep.
You know how they both sculpt lines, and even the way Ron tattoos now, compared to when he tattooed me the first time.
Right.
And I paid it the fuck attention. I was like,
oh yeah,
I cannot stop looking at what you're doing. And watching him now, he was at the Fresno Expo. I'm like, oh yeah, you changed. That's cool. That's great.
His colors too. God, those greens he uses, and he makes huge fields of them. And they're
some of these
solid
bio guys, the way they do their layers and create that depth though, is something I strive for. And I thought I had it, and just one of my self-humbling things is like, I don't create that kind of depth with my bio. Okay, I got to practice depth more. Shit. Yeah. And just the way they shape it, each little thing that comes out from the bio, you're like, I don't know what the hell that thing is, but it's awesome. And the way you made it look 3D,
real.
Yeah, with minimal effort. And that's a big thing with some, to me, some great bio is the minimalist of effort, not effort, but the approach to the way they do something. I'm like, Jesus, I wouldn't have thought of doing it that way, but you created that shape with minimal passes and just you let the skin breathe in the perfect places, and it's like, oh my god.
Right. Yeah. It's like the rule of thirds, but like in the fourth dimension.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's unreal what they can do. I saw a Guy Atchison piece in person and almost quit tattooing. I was like, I fucking suck and I will never be that good.
I like his stuff. I if I was all about the texture of stuff, I would love it even more. His texture is amazing. He puts so much time and effort into his texture and layers of color, and I'm like, oh my god.
It's light sourcing too.
And light sourcing. I mean, he does studying. He studies each piece and makes like a 3D model and lights it and does it before he does
Paints
it.
That's meditates on it.
That's smart, right?
Makes a stencil for 2 or 3 days. Like, fuck, dude. Unreal. Good luck catching
like that style, and then you go to Aaron Kane, Ron Earhart, Renee, Musashi, on his Instagram, Nate, those guys do it a different way. Still bio, still amazing, different kind of texture.
Right.
Because it's not focused on the texture in that way.
Yes.
So amazing.
Completely different approach. Yeah. It is crazy how many like sub-genres of bio there is.
Right.
Yeah.
And most people don't even realize that. They're like, oh, bio, cool.
They just think it's a bunch of machine parts.
It's like Alien movie. Yeah, kind of, but not really.
That's where it started. That's the roots. That's the seed that planted Geiger. Yeah.
Geiger.
They all worship at the altar of Geiger.
I love the movie Dune, the old stuff, but he was supposed to do the first. He was supposed to do the everything with Dune, like designs the set and everything.
Okay.
Which I think Lynch made Dune, which he hates the movie he made, but I think they still took some of the ideas of what Geiger did for Jodorowsky. He was supposed to do Dune, and he had Geiger on to do the set design, to do all the design of everything, all the still suits and all that kind of stuff. And those designs, I was like, that would be a better Dune. It would be a way better Dune.
Right.
But Jodorowsky died, so it didn't get made.
Right.
But I still like Lynch's version.
Yeah, I like the original, man.
So,
yeah.
The new stuff is nice too, though.
It looked good.
It looks good.
I just haven't made the time, but yeah.
Those are long movies to watch because I've read all the books of Dune. There's so much stuff out there. Yeah. I'm a nerd about that Dune world, and Frank Herbert, and now his son is taking over the mantle and writing books with his buddy Brian Anderson.
Okay.
So good.
Cool.
I'm a nerd about Dune.
Cool. Yeah, no, Dune's cool, man. There's a lot of metaphors in there that. Very much like Lord of the Rings. People are like, oh, it's just a movie about some hobbits and a ring. And it's like, if you really look into what Tolkien was trying to say.
Dude, he made a whole language. Elven. Right? Yes.
It's
like, I wouldn't want to have wanted to do that.
How many times have you had to tattoo that shit?
A few times.
Yeah, I've had to tattoo it a bunch.
A lot more than I've gotten to do Dune stuff.
For sure.
But I've gotten to do some fun Dune stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which makes me happy. The nerd in me.
Yeah.
About
it's cool to be a nerd. Oh, it's so hip right now. It's so chic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember saying, "Oh, I'm into what did we call? We called it manga. It wasn't even anime yet. Oh, what's that crap? Oh, that's I'm like, dude, it's like Looney Tunes, but sex and violence, and squirting blood
Tentacle
everywhere.
penises.
Yeah, dude, fun shit.
But I love the anime kids that are super into it. And then I asked them, have you guys seen Akira?
Yeah.
The first anime movie ever made? They're like, no. I'm like, shut the fuck up then.
I know. It's the same thing with tattooing, basically.
It is the same thing
it's
with
really
tattooing.
cool. They're all about it, but they don't know where it came
even
from.
Even hip-hop. I had this kid that's a SoundCloud rapper that came into my shop, and he wanted a face tattoo. I'm like, I don't see any other tattoos on you. Do you have tattoos? I have this little thing here that my buddy, this guy did. He had a little crew. It was funny. It was cute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but you want face tattoos now. I'm not going to do a face tattoo on you. Oh, come on, dog. I'm like, no. And then I mentioned something about Tupac. He said, who's Tupac? I'm like, get the fuck out of my shop. I blame your parents, and I should smack you and your parents. If you don't know who Tupac is and you're a California rapper,
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't know Wu-Tang. I saw a video the other day. Some guy went around some college and asked everybody who Wu-Tang was.
Fuck.
They were like, huh? Yeah. Wu-Tang wanted you to protect what? And they're like, I don't know. Your peace? Your inner child?
Oh, inner child.
The answers were great, dude. It was
your gender identity?
Right? Palestine? What?
Colleges. I don't know about colleges these days.
Yeah, for sure. And who knows? It could have been a setup. I mean, there's so much clickbait shit out there nowadays. Yeah.
I mean, you got to write all your YouTube things now.
Yeah. Well, because the white gym teacher is the only one who's like, your neck, guillotine, flying guillotines or some shit. Yeah. It was funny, The comment section was the best. That's the gold. That's the real gold of those. But yeah, it's very much the same. Like, they just don't take the time to study the history. They're just, but we all did, right? Remember sitting in history class, like, why do we got to watch this World War II shit? No one cares. It's never going to happen again. We're on the verge of it.
Hey, it happens again.
Yeah, history repeats itself. Yeah, so you should study it.
You should study it because then you know what to expect a little bit and how you can change stuff. If you don't know history, why even bother? Everything's new to you and you're going to fail.
And we're going through it right now. We had our first real slow season again for 4 years, 5 years.
What was the last one? 2008 was really bad?
Yeah, not for me. I was in Hawaii, but everybody else ate a bag of dicks.
2008 in Fresno was pretty bad.
Yeah?
I think 2003 was a good one, if I remember correctly.
9/11 was terrible.
9/11.
I started, that was my first year of tattooing.
Fuck. I remember my morning, because I was going to go to the shop and do some tattoos. And me and my roommate was the piercer at the shop.
Cool.
And we woke up, and he was awake because he's a piercer. Of course, they wake up on time. I'm a tattooer. I sleep in, and because I was drinking that night, obviously.
Yeah. What else is there to do?
He's vegan. He wakes me up, and he's like, "Hey, wake up! Shit's going down." I'm like, "What is going down?" To me, nothing. I'm sleeping. I get up and it's just trade center's falling. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? But that's on the other side of the coast. But this is still pretty bad.
Right.
We just stayed up, or we were awake for like hours just watching it. I call into the shop. Are we going to work today? I don't know. Probably not.
Nobody knew what to do, man.
Yeah, it was just like shit.
Yeah.
Are we going to go to a complete world war now?
Yeah, I woke up to my uncle banging on my door. We're under attack. I'm like, what the fuck? Same thing.
Do I need a gun?
I rolled out. That was the first thing I did. I'm loading my guns, and he fucking opens my door. He's like, "We're under attack." I'm like, "What? I'm loading my guns. What? Who's attacking us?" He's like, "No." He's like, "New York is under it." I'm like, "Okay, well, what the fuck?" He's like, "Turn your TV on." I'm okay. He's like, turn the TV on, and then that was it. I was just like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
What? They hadn't fallen yet. The first one got hit. The second one hadn't even been hit yet.
Yeah.
So I got to see that live. That was wonderful. And then my boss and me got on the phone, and I'm like, "Are we going to work today?" He's like, "Well, I don't know. Let's just go for a little bit." I was still fucking first year, dude. I barely just earned the right to tattoo. In April.
Yeah.
In September.
Fuck. Yeah.
And I was loving it. I was killing it. I was making so much money. I was good. I'd finally gotten to like my 50-50 percentage. I'd gotten through free tats and then half price tats, and then I made it to fucking 50-50. All right.
Nice.
Killing it, kid.
Yeah.
And I was doing good, and then that happened, and fuck, man. I think I did 3 tattoos the rest of the year.
That was a crazy time. I did more than that, a lot more than that, but it was rough, at least the first week. Plus, but the only thing I liked about it was how the country got together.
Yeah.
You see, everybody's supporting the country.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. We felt more united in that moment and the week after than I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt, it was amazing.
We get
really
so
was.
divisive nowadays about your hair color.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Name
Oh,
it.
mask. That was fun.
Oh, that was a great time. Yeah. I mean, that, it's so many weird times in tattooing, and COVID was, it changed everything again.
And then what that did also, I noticed, is that a lot of these kids got their tattoo machines on Amazon.
They sure
and
did.
started
Nothing to do.
tattooing at home, nothing to do.
Same thing as
Some
you,
of them
home
got
arrest.
really good.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You're so good, and you started it during COVID. But they also are masters at social media.
Exactly.
It's like, oh my God, you have 500,000 followers, and you're killing it. And you did this because of COVID.
Well, it's
Amazing.
the same thing as tattooing. If you knew how to hustle, you didn't have to be good at tattooing.
Yeah.
There was tattooers that sucked that were really busy.
Yeah.
It's the same now, too.
It is.
There's ones that understand social media.
Yeah.
They can't tattoo to save their fucking soul.
Yeah.
But they understand.
They got a million
reels.
followers, and they post things,
Books
and they get books closed.
Yeah.
I can't tattoo you till next year.
Uh-huh.
That's
At best.
13 months away. What? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Shit.
And people like that.
They do.
Clients think that's valuable.
They do.
You know, I remember that era when that first the whole exclusivity thing got introduced into tattooing. You know, of course, Andrew Stortz made fun of it, and all of us did. But yeah, it really was a thing. You know, I mean, I'm not available for like the next 3 or 4 weeks or months, or there was a real value in that. You just lied. You just pretend. Now the kids do 1 tattoo a day. Oh, book's closed. I'm like, no, you're not. You're just lazy.
I think my first 10 years, I never made an appointment.
No, you didn't have to.
I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Things are coming in.
Yeah. Friday the 13th was every fucking weekend. There was a line on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday
Yeah.
of motherfuckers waiting to get tattooed. And you couldn't get through the whole line, no matter how good your crew was, dude. You'd be like, hey guys, come back tomorrow. Be first one here. We'll get you in tomorrow, I promise.
I remember my shop in Fresno. I did the first Friday the 13th event. And the shop was Circle of Saints. Me and my business partner, Brian, we decided to do the Friday the 13th. And I think I drew up about 200 different designs for people to choose from. And all Prismacolor on transfer, or on tracing paper, so it looks amazing.
Yep.
And I had too many options for people to choose from, but we advertised on the radio for it too. So we had people camping the night before. We set no limit. We didn't think it was going to be that crazy.
Yep.
And so people were waiting. The longest someone had to wait was 10 hours to get tattooed. I tattooed for 26 hours straight.
Nice.
And I had a headache for a week after, but it was so much fun. But people waited in line to get tattooed, and then they even took off to other shops, got tattooed, and came back because we held their place in line.
Yep.
And like, yeah, this tattoo shop was talking shit. I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, they don't know how you're making money. I pull out the wad. I'm like, I'm not making money today at all. They're like, oh, that's cool. And then next year, who was doing those fucking Friday the 13th too? Those shops. I'm like, yeah, you guys.
Yep.
But that first one for Fresno was super fun, popular. I had to do rain checks for, I think, 400 tattoos. I'm like, I'm done tattooing. It's been 26 hours. I can't do it anymore. My hand's cramping, and this hasn't happened to me in 10 years with a hand cramp. So we're done. You guys all, you pay for your thing and you get it within the next 6 months. It was cool. But yeah, we definitely did it smarter the next time. Limit it,
Yeah. It's funny how the shops that were all like, they're all doing it.
All doing it.
They're all doing it. There's like 1 or 2 in our neighborhood that don't. They do like the next day. They're like, oh, well, when it heals, we'll cover it for you. Make an appointment now. Yeah. They're funny.
It's like, no, my tattoos are still looking good. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. People approach it as just a huge cash grab. I approach it as a way to create new clientele.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, but they're cheap. I'm like, not all of them. Some of them just want to go have some fucking fun.
Some people had a fun time, and I tattooed those people for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
I still tattoo some of those people.
Yeah. I got a leg sleeve on one of them, one of the first years I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full Japanese leg sleeve.
Yeah. I really like those little fun bangers, though. They're fun.
They're fun.
Because to me, sometimes in a good little Friday the 13th piece, there's an elegance to the way you do the line work. It's almost like I dip it once, maybe twice in black. The whole outline's done. It's almost one fluid motion.
Yep.
The whole outline. And then a couple colors. And it's like, I just did that in 5 minutes. It took me longer to set up for this tattoo than to do the tattoo.
Yep.
And that was fun. And it's like, it's a Zen moment almost, like, to do that.
It's very much like traditional. There's nowhere to hide fuck ups in Friday the 13th
no.
tattoos. They're so simple. Yeah, so you got to be good at it. Yeah, you got fundamentals.
Yep,
for sure. So, and you got to have your head in the right space and do it for the right reason.
Very true. Very true.
It's a way to get 200 people to know where you are,
Yeah.
who you are, what you're about.
Very quickly.
There's no amount of advertising you can fucking pay for that's going to get 200 people through your door on a Friday.
Yeah, and then a lot of I want that first Friday the 13th event. I think I had 8 artists tattooing, and a lot of them couldn't handle things and couldn't hang as long as I did. So of course I was fixing at least 100 of those tattoos that next year. I'm like, hey, something messed up, come on in, I will take care of it. You don't even need to talk to that person. If you don't trust them, I will fix it for you. And I did. And I took care of it. It's like they didn't have to worry about it. The artist and the customer got it fixed or even covered up if it had to be that bad.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I had to do a few of those too.
Yeah.
It goes with the territory.
Yeah. Shop owner, hey,
exactly.
I want you happy when you leave.
Yeah.
If it takes me redoing this tattoo completely, making it look good, I'll do it.
That's the part that the kids don't understand, man. Oh, the boss, he's making all this money. It's like, dude, it's so fucking stressful.
But I'm also supplying you with all these little things that you don't think about. Making sure air's working, lights are on.
Yeah. Well, the 5-star review stays as long as the fucking 1-star review stays. They both stay. You go. They stay with me forever.
Yelp is fun.
Yeah. It's like you basically gave me internet herpes. I could never get rid of this shit. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
You could move on to 12 shops and just keep shitting everywhere. And I gotta go. Fucking gypsy. We all know them.
Oh yeah. There's this one person in Fresno. This person, she's been to many different shops.
It, they, them.
No, it's she. I just didn't want to give it away that it was even a girl. She, in her first year of being in shops, she went to like 6 different shops. I'm like, Jesus. It might not be the shops. It might just be you and your attitude on something. Just do your own thing then, if that's what it takes.
Yep.
But it's like, it might be you.
Yeah, it's that dude who's, they're all crazy. It's like, no, dude, I think it's you, bro. You might be the problem.
Yeah.
You have bad taste in women, maybe, but it's probably you. Yeah, there's a lot of that in tattooing. It's not my fault. It's like,
even some tattoo artists with their tattoos, it's like, they healed bad. Yes, they healed bad, but that was you.
Yeah.
You made them heal bad. Just take it for what it is. Yeah. And they need a touch up. Just give them the touch up.
Yeah, for sure.
You want that piece looking nice out there to get more customers. Make sure they're happy with the experience.
Yep.
Do the touch up. Don't blame them. Not to mention the fact that you shouldn't have charged them $250 for that piece, and you've scarred them now, or shit didn't heal. All those holidays are probably not their fault. Yep. It might be you and your technique. Just fix it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Customer service has always been kind of tough in tattooing. That was always how I won before I learned how to tattoo real well. Was just treating people like I wanted to be treated.
Yeah.
Reading
the person. We become salesmen. We used to becoming salesmen and having to talk this person into their tattoo and maybe guiding them in a direction to make the tattoo better and still make them happy and stuff like that. But also selling yourself. Yeah. All those things came into play before, but now it doesn't have to, since it does a little bit, but
still, yeah.
When I walk across a shop or see people not even talking and engaging with their customer, wearing headphones for their 5-hour tattoo, it's like, Jesus, this is fun. To me, giving a person a tattoo is an experience for the person.
Exactly.
And if you make it a fun experience and get a rapport with the person, you have them for such a long time because you gave them a great tattoo and you made it fun.
Yep.
And you guys got along and connected, and it's an experience. It's not just the tattoo.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. I try to explain that to the people that work for me and people that just, come up asking questions about tattooing. I'm like, bro, being good is only half the equation.
Before tattooing, I was a quieter person, quieter guy. I didn't really go out and talk to anybody. I still kind of don't, and choose my conversations a little better, but tattooing made it a lot easier, even to approach someone, because now I kind of think of a way to approach it. if I want to, because I had to figure that out.
You got to learn
each
people.
customer. Yeah, you got to learn people and what makes them tick a little bit.
Yeah.
And how you can make your tick work with their tick.
Exactly. The guy today that I tattooed the Japanese Hanyo mask thing on his hand was like, only reason I chose you is because as soon as I said I was thinking something like this, you got so excited about it.
Right. Showing a little bit of excitement.
Yeah.
Come at tattoo expos, for example. I've taken people along the road with me to expos that don't talk to people. It's like all you need to do. Someone stops and looks at your drawings, your artwork, your portfolio. Get up and say hi to them.
Yeah.
That alone right there opens up the door and makes them feel a lot more at ease. Because everybody meeting a new person for the first time, you don't know where you stand.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, most of us look kind of scary.
Some of us look scary.
To the average people.
To the average people,
Yeah.
exactly. And so if you're nice to them and you talk to them, they love you for it. And they'll get a tattoo from you.
And like you said, if you give them a good experience, it doesn't even have to be that good of a tattoo.
Yeah.
If the experience is worthwhile, they will be loyal.
Yeah.
They stay.
Yeah,
They come back for the laughs and the stories and the entertainment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And bring their cousin next time or their mom and you tattoo both of them that next time.
Yep.
For Oroville example, for this expo we're recording this at, I mean, I've done this expo every year because it's a great expo and the people up here are amazing.
The best. Yep.
They don't ever fucking haggle, first of all.
The community comes out, man.
The
It's
community
surprising.
comes out. They love it. They love that we're here. The first 4 years of doing this, they thanked every one of us. Every time I did a tattoo on these people, they thank you guys for coming out. It's like, shit, I never felt that.
Right.
I never got appreciated just for being here. That's amazing. Thank you guys for coming and giving me money and get tattooed and not even haggling a price.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And now I tattoo so many families up here in Oroville that I have to do guest spots and just make trips up here just to keep them happy. Because they'll wait for me for next year, but they don't always want to. And sometimes they'll come all the way to Fresno for me.
Yep.
You know, I've done that with the Canyonville Expo too in Oregon. That's a great expo. And some of those people have made that 8-hour drive to Fresno to come get tattooed because the expo's not for another 8 months and they can't wait.
Yep.
And you know, it's building that rapport with the people, talking to them, having a good time with them.
Yep.
That experience.
Well, I've always said when they come to the shop or call, they're not here because they don't want a tattoo.
Yeah.
They didn't come. I mean, occasionally you get a person who's just fucking killing time for real.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're waiting to see what you do.
Yeah.
You know, like the vibe. Is it clicking? Are you friendly? Are you scary? Is Slayer playing?
Yeah.
You know, like they're just trying to get a feel for the place. But if you do your job well, almost every one of those people can be a client.
Yeah.
They're not there because they don't want to get tattooed. They want to get tattooed.
Yeah.
Maybe not right now. But if you are friendly and you answer their questions and your shop is nice or you're at a nice event like this, they'll come back.
Yeah.
They'll come back.
They will.
Yeah. You know, it's a huge part of it. It's literally a half and half.
Yeah.
You're half having to be a really good, competent tattooer, and the other half is a salesman / entertainer.
Yeah.
You know, I explain to people at our shop that work there that like it's your job to give them a show because they could have chose the beach, the mountains, they could have went to a show, they could have went to a game.
Yeah.
You know, they could have did all these other things with this time that they've set aside, but they chose you.
Yeah.
They chose you. You're the beach today. You're the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, first of all, appreciate it, and then give them something.
Yeah.
You got to give them something. You can't just give them headphones. You can't just give them attitude. You can't just give them, If you have to focus on your line work because it's a tough spot, just be like, hey, we'll chat in a little bit, you know, more. And I always chat them up as soon as I get them in, you know. Oh, hey, who are you? Where are you from? You know, if I don't know them.
Yeah.
You know, if I already know them, you know, we'll get into, how are the kids? Or, you know, if whatever I can remember of them, you know.
Or if even closer, hey, fucker.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
You got those ones too.
Yeah, exactly. You got all of them.
You know
but
your
they
people.
all kind of expect something like that, you know, that's part of it, especially after the TV shows.
Yeah.
You know, the TV shows really brought that whole, like, personal reason aspect into it.
And sometimes, you know, even me sometimes still, I'm like, oh my God, I don't need your story with this tattoo, but please tell me the story.
Yeah.
But because the show made it that way at first. And they have the story for the tattoo and everything that goes into this whole tattoo. But sometimes they're delusional. It's like, you can't do a half sleeve in half an hour like on the show. No, I cannot, because that's not even done in half an hour. I'm sorry, it's a studio.
Editing.
And it's like, yeah. I mean, the shows, I remember when the shows first came out, I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm like, this is crazy.
Right.
But it's also, it made it a lot more, it helped. No matter what.
Huge.
It hurt, but it helped.
Yeah, it did both.
It did both.
It was good and bad, and I feel like it was more good than it was bad.
It was.
Honestly, as much as
it made it more acceptable to everybody. It's on TV.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it now.
Yep.
And,
people say it created more tattooers. What created more tattooers was the fucking internet, in my opinion, access to equipment, and just social media. Social media has created it, honestly, more so than anything. Everybody looks at it and goes, I could fucking do that.
Everybody looks at it and says, I could fucking do that. And these guys make good money. They make their own hours. They're their own boss. It's like, not necessarily.
It sounds perfect.
It sounds
theory.
awesome. And then you start getting into it. Your first month, you're like, oh, this is bullshit. I actually have to work and be here and show up. Yeah, you got to show up. I'm sorry. And you got to do the homework.
Your clothes get covered in ink no matter how hard you try not to.
Yeah. Every one of my pairs of pants on the right leg has ink.
Yeah. You can wear the biggest fucking apron. It doesn't matter.
That's why I like your apron, the one single leg one, and I got that one too. This little. What is this one from? Tatt sole, but it's a nice little fabric one.
Oh yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, they're fun.
It's cool.
You feel like a cowboy.
You feel like it's chaps. It's one chap.
Yeah, exactly.
Tattoo cowboy. One chap.
Yep. For sure. Yeah. No. TV was good. It was weird. It was. I don't know how much you got it, but God, in Hawaii, because I moved to Hawaii right as the shows were really kicking off and that craze. How much for a sleeve? Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't know. What kind of sleeve do you want? Help me help you.
Yeah.
Give me some details.
The bag of grocery analogy. Well, it depends on what you put in it.
Yeah.
Could be $10. Could be $10,000.
I'm like, if you want a whole sleeve, hey, you're gonna do tribal. I could probably do a tribal sleeve in 10 to 15 hours.
Yep.
But if you want Japanese style, we're looking at 20 plus.
Easy.
Dragons, definitely scales. Multicolored dragon, let's do it. But you're not getting out of here spending 10 hours on that sleeve.
Nope. Yeah, maybe on the forearm.
Right?
The forearm
Just
half,
the forearm.
maybe. Once you get up here, it gets a little sketchier. One more time. It's just crazy all the things that have changed tattooing. So when I started, I remember thinking, God, how could they make a machine any better? And just couldn't really think of. I knew it would advance, but I just didn't know how. I didn't really see pens becoming a thing. So rotaries were a thing. Swash drives were around, and people used them, and they're cool for shading, but cartridges. As soon as I saw that, I was like, whoa, the future.
This is amazing. It's like just the pre-made needle head inside the thing with a rubber band?
Yeah. It's tatau.
Yeah.
It's two things tapping each other to make the needle go in.
Yep.
Needle on bar is tabori. It's one big long stick with the pusher at the end, So it's, as much as it's changed, it hasn't.
Yeah.
In a way.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just reinvented.
Yeah. Remarketed, repackaged.
Repackaged.
Yeah. It's shinier. It's gold.
Yeah.
It's better.
It always looks good to the new kids.
Yeah. Well, they want.
But they embrace it because it's all that they know. They don't know the history, but it also seems too old. And I'm going to go backwards.
Right. Well, it's the lack of apprenticeships.
There's
just not good apprenticeships anymore. And I get asked all the time, and I'm just like, I want to teach all of you the right things, but you're not all worth it.
I've been tattooing long enough in Fresno. I think I'm 26 years this year in September.
Yep.
And I remember the days when if you opened up a shop on the same street, your shop's probably on fire within a week.
Yep.
Or at least windows are broken 10 times that year because then you're out of business.
Yep.
That was the economy back then because insurance only covers it one time and the owner probably covers it one time with his insurance. And then, people will get hands broken sometimes for even just talking shit.
Yep.
So I had in my building, I'm deep inside my building, so I don't have storefront. Everything's word of mouth.
Okay.
All my customers is always word of mouth. I tattoo my customers' kids now that I knew their parents before they were even born, which is fun. I love it.
It's great, isn't it?
It's great. It's fun. But these kids, so I've been tattooing long enough that I have all that customer base. Well, in my building, there's another building now 10 feet away from me, and these kids opened up a tattoo shop. And it's like, first I knew it was going to become a tattoo shop just because people talk.
Yep.
And then I go to the office manager girls, and they're like, "Hi, how's it going?" I'm like, "You guys are always awesome and great, but why are you guys creating a problem, or potentially creating a problem,
Yep.
when there wasn't one?" "What do you mean?" I'm all, "Well, in our lease, it was you can't open up another same business in the same building, which is another tattoo shop. I know that building is becoming a tattoo shop. I know, number 106 is going to be a shop. You potentially are creating a problem when there wasn't one." "Oh, we changed the lease though, remember?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do. Assholes." But yeah, so you just care about the money. That's cool. You're a property management company, so I understand.
Right.
Okay, so then I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to talk to you guys anymore because you don't understand. And then when the kids started working on the tattoo shop, I go in there and talk to them. There's 3 of them in there. They're like painting the wall and stuff with spray paint and stuff. It looks nice. It's a nice shop. The kids are talented. None of them in the shop have more than 5 or 6 years experience. And the ones that I do know learned from a shop that also was the same thing. So none of them know some of the history.
Yep.
Or even of Fresno history. So it's like, I walk in there, I'm like, "Who's the owner of this shop?" The owner comes up, the main owner. He's like, "Me." I'm like, "Cool. I've been tattooing in this industry long enough in Fresno that if you did this back when I started, I would have to break your hand and your shop would be on fire. But it's the same building, so I couldn't do that because my shop is also here and I don't want to burn my shop down.
Yep.
But days are also different, so I'm not going to break your hand." As I'm saying this, the other 2 guys are walking out the door and leaving the owner by himself. I'm like, "Oh, pussies."
Yep.
But I'm not going to do this. Times are different. Things have changed. But you guys should have introduced yourself at least and come to, "Hey, I'm opening up a shop 10 feet away from you. Suck my dick, kiss my ass." But you didn't even, do
Didn't
that
have
or
the balls
introduce
for that.
yourself. Yeah,
Yep.
so that was my introduction to them. I just let them know, it could have been shitty, but I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to do that to you guys. It took them about a month, and then they came and asked for, because they're black and gray portrait stuff, and they're phenomenal. They do great work, but that's all they do.
Yeah.
The kid didn't have red. He came in and begged to borrow some red from me. So I gave him shit for at least a good 5 minutes. My customer was laughing while I'm tattooing her, and I'm like, "I don't know if I should let you borrow my red. I mean, you're like competition, 10 feet away from me." I always do that to them. 10
Yeah.
feet away from me.
Yep.
Didn't even say hi or introduce yourself before you opened up shop. Man, after like 5 minutes, you're like, "Are you gonna let me borrow some red?" I'm all, "Yeah, what tone you need? What red do you need? I have 5 different reds."
Yeah.
Unlike you. He's like, "Fuck, I just need a red, any red." I'm like, "Okay, here's a good red. Bring it back."
Right.
And yeah,
Were you tempted to pull a Fat George and fucking find an empty bottle and fill it mostly with piss and 2 drops of red and
No, but mineral oil is fun.
yeah.
I played that trick on a person before.
Okay.
I did it on their black though, so I felt bad for that customer.
Yeah.
I fixed their tattoo for them and told the artist too. I'm like, "Hey, I put mineral oil in your black ink. I'm sorry, I had to do it. You were a dick that day."
Yep.
I felt like I needed to get even with you. I put
Yeah,
mineral oil in there, so mineral oil doesn't absorb into the skin at all, and it likes to absorb ink particles. So almost every damn particle of black ink did not stay in. There was
Yeah.
enough that it was barely a stencil for me to fix the tattoo. And I did that to someone. I felt really bad though. I was like, "Fuck, that person suffered because this guy's an asshole and then I became an asshole." So I fixed it for them.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole point. George
It was
had.
the whole point.
Because it was the only shop for lots of miles in every direction. Of course, they're going to come back and be, "I don't know what happened."
Oh yeah.
"Oh, you shouldn't go to those untrustworthy scratchers," all kind of shit.
Oh,
Comedy, man, the old guys.
yeah.
That shit's still alive, though. There's still people doing doing rough shit to
Yeah.
people who deserve it, because they fucking deserve it.
Yeah. Sometimes
You gotta.
those that new shop, they get their Amazon boxes outside because I'm there early nowadays. So it's like, "Oh, look at that Amazon box. I wonder what's in it. Could I fuck with it?" But I'm like, I'll leave it alone.
Well, they're lucky, whoever they are.
They are.
They're lucky. You're a
They're nice guys. They're nice guys.
Yeah, all these kids are. It's not their fault. They just don't know any better.
Yeah,
It's their parents. The parents are the problem,
the parents.
right?
They're tattooing parents too.
Exactly.
sometimes.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
When I
That's
asked them, I'm like, who'd you guys learn from? They told me the shop. I'm like, "Oh, that explains a lot why you don't know what you should have done."
5 years in, 5 apprentices, 1 for every year you've been tattooing. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Those are great.
But some of those
are
shops,
everywhere.
Some of those shops charge those kids. I'm like, "You're paying your bills, I guess, but
Yeah, I mean, if you actually have something to give, I feel like it's worth charging.
Yeah.
I'm almost to the point where I might charge for the next person I teach because it's just fucking, it's a stress, dude. It's a whole nother job.
It is another job.
I'm an owner, a tattoo shop owner, a supply company
mentor,
owner, a father, and now I got to be a fucking teacher.
Yeah.
You know, now I got to teach you everything you need to know,
Yeah.
which is a lot. To be competent, to really, you know, to be a benefit to the society and a part of a lineage. You know, because mine goes back, you know, I've traced mine back through Cliff Raven and Phil Sparrow.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, those people are the reason I have a career because
Yeah.
they taught people who taught people who taught me.
Yeah.
Rick Walters, Shaw, you know, fuck, dude. It's just, my family tree is amazing. I suck. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I suck at tattooing compared to all these people in my family lineage, you know,
Yeah.
if you look at my tree. But, you know, I feel like in some way I have to honor them by making sure that if I teach somebody something that they're fucking, you know, they know their shit, you know. I make sure that, you know, even though the people I've taught, like, you need to know how to make a clip cord, you need to know how to put a machine together from parts, you need to know how to make needles.
Yeah.
You know, when I get some powder again, I'm going to make them mix ink.
That was fun, learning how to make needles by myself.
Oh,
Because I
God.
wanted to.
Yeah.
But also back then it was like almost $100 for a box of pre-made needles. I'm like, Jesus, what? I
They
can't
were
do that.
expensive in the beginning.
And then I saw I'm there learning how to make needles and getting all the tools, and it's like, Jesus, this sucks. And then to me the most amazing thing in my early days of making needles was pre-made needle head on, and I could just solder it to the bar.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, it's so much cheaper and saves so much time.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
Well, if you go back far enough, they made needles, but not as often because
Yeah.
they kept re-autoclaving them, you know? Yeah.
That whole misclassification of the needles. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Well, all the Jack, I've had so many people tell me, oh man, after about 2 or 3 times, they're perfect. They work for about 5 tats, and then you got to get rid of them because they're kind of, you know, they're too sharp. The bottom ones are always too sharp from running up on the metal tubes.
Yeah.
They'd sharpen them up.
Sharpen them up.
Yeah, they'd be good, they'd be extra sharp, and then they'd be too sharp.
That was amazing for me too. So going from metal tubes to plastic tubes.
Yeah.
That changed some shit for me because, you know, you get orange, yellow, white with the
Opaques.
metal tubes.
Mhm.
You're like, why is this gray, motherfucker? It's white.
It all turns to mud.
You're like, oh, there's metal shavings coming off because this is a lubricant and now it's metal shavings.
Uh-huh.
So then I realized too, with using the plastic, now there's no more metal shavings in the skin, so it's healing even fucking better,
So bright.
right? And you're like,
So bright.
my stuff is healing even better once I switched to these plastic tubes, and things clicked for me, and I'm like, oh, there's always obviously metal coming off metal.
Yeah.
Huh. That was fun.
Yeah.
And the white's going to look even brighter and better. You're like, geez,
That's where white highlights became
the thing.
sort of viable.
Yeah.
People misuse them constantly, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Throw more white in it.
Yeah.
No.
How about add contrast, stupid? You won't have to highlight anything. The skin will look white if you do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And sometimes
tricks.
some people, you know, in theory, they're using too much white, but they make it look so good. You get that white power line, you're like, no, most people can't do it, but some people can do it.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
oh, that's perfect the way you did it.
The Japanese use white amazingly,
Yeah.
especially with Tamori.
Yeah.
Because once again, you know, there's no frictions.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know, the white. Sunny states, man. Stay away from white, kids.
Yeah.
Use it sparingly. Use it to, like, you know, tint your colors.
Yeah.
Oh, I need my yellow to look a little more banana. Okay.
Yeah.
White's your friend then.
Yeah.
Yeah. White
Get that
everywhere.
little lighter tone? Sure.
Yeah, exactly. A little gleam in the eye is okay.
Yeah.
Anything more than that, the fuck are you doing? There's white on white on white. It's like, where's the light coming from? Everywhere?
I remember I thought white was the coolest thing when I really started trying to use it. And I had a black friend, and I tried to do a white tribal onto his black skin. And it healed wherever I put the white, darker than his skin tone. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This doesn't make sense to me. That tripped me out. I was like, no, this doesn't make sense. Why is it working this way?
Yeah.
Because I used white in him before as a highlight.
Okay.
So it wasn't anything crazy, and it showed up white on his skin. I'm like, great. And then I, of course, made the joke with him, and he was quick to come back with a great comeback. I'm like, how you feel, man? You got some white in you. Your credit score go up? He's like, no, but my dick shrank. I'm like, damn it, I thought I was going to get you on that one, but you got me right back.
That's
it was
like
such a good one.
That's good. Yeah, that's Lisa Lampanelli stuff.
Right?
Remember her?
Yeah.
She was great. She disappeared. She got out before cancel culture really became a thing. She's like, I'm out. You gotta go. Yeah, she was funny. Anywho, speaking of funny, you gotta have a good shop story. Everybody's got one that's like classic or unreal, or what's your best? What's the best thing that's ever happened? Funniest thing,
Funniest
scariest thing, whatever.
Not beating up people outside the shop. That happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Apprentices and making them do fun stuff.
Okay.
Because they just have to.
Right.
I had one apprentice, and I put him in one of them inflatable dick suits and made him hold up a sign for the tattoo shop. You need to do this for advertising. Go to the corner. But I made inflatable dick suit. He's holding up a sign for the shop. I go over there and throw like 5 fart bombs into the fan part, so it's just blowing that fart smell. He's throwing up inside of the dick suit. So that was awesome. One apprentice, I decided his truck stunk. It didn't smell good because it was his dad's work truck. So I got like 200 incense and taped them all together and put it in like a cup jar and lit them all.
Oh Jesus!
Blew it out so it would just be smoke. I put it back into his truck and closed the door and lock it, and he's just watching this whole time. Like, this is gonna be funny. It relit the incense, and then it created a pressure and it blew up. So it sent 200 little fireballs in the whole truck on the inside of the truck. So he had like 200 little burn marks on his dad's truck, his dad's work truck. And so then I was like, this is gonna be interesting because I'm kind of a pyro. And so I was like, yeah, we should let it burn. And he's over here crying just about, please let's put it out. So I go grab the fire extinguisher, put it out, and he's just crying. And then the next week to that same truck, I decided to open up door panels and put fish into it. Because I just wanted to fuck with his dad. Because his dad was a customer, and he was fun. Okay. He understood the jokes.
Gotcha.
But it's still his work truck, so it kind of sucked.
Yeah, it definitely sucked.
Because he didn't realize how bad it was. It was summer, and it took a couple days for it to really stink bad. But he didn't know what it was, and then I told him after like 10 days.
Ooh, it was right.
He got burn marks.
Liquid. The fish are liquid by then.
Gross fish with maggots all over him. Yeah, it was not fun for him. I felt bad. I said, I'll pay for you to get it cleaned up. Right, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, my son has to learn. He can't let you guys do everything to him or my truck.
Right? He's got to protect it.
I love those stories. Those are fun. Those are fun stories for me.
Yeah, now they're like, they won't let me tattoo. I've been here a week.
Right? They're so sensitive.
My apprenticeship sucks.
So sensitive. I mean, but you also want to try to be nice the older we are, and it's like, I can't hurt your feelings all the time. You're not as tough as Joe over here who did this 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I remember the last time because I'm a private studio now. I have been for the past 6 years. The last thing I had was some guys complaining about my music. I'm like, it's my shop. I play the music I want to play. If you want to play your own music, get a little speaker that doesn't go louder than mine. Headphones, I guess, are an option, but not when you're tattooing people because it's rude. That's the complaining so much about the music was like, I think I'm going to do a private studio for a while, you guys. I'm sorry, but in a month, shop's closing up. But they were also getting to a point where these kids, they blame the shop for their problems. And I'm like, you just need to grow up, I think. You're new into tattooing and you've got problems, and you can't just blame the shop for all your problems or the shop owner for your problems.
Right.
You have to take accountability.
I can't do it for you, kid.
I can't do it for you. I can't do that part for you. I can get you tattooing and doing stuff cool, but can't make you become an adult. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's your mom and dad's job.
Yeah, that's your mom and dad's job. And if they didn't do it, you're going to have to figure it out yourself. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, we all did, right? A lot of us 90s. Growing up.
Did.
And coming of age in the 90s.
Yeah.
Born in the 70s.
Our generation,
80s,
latchkey.
Yeah, that's the term. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to teach ourselves a lot of things. Yeah.
Made us resilient.
Yeah, look at us now. Here we go. Well, good shit. Let me see. Any shout outs, thank yous, fuck yous, anything you want to say?
I have too many fuck yous and I'll just come off with like a bitter old man, so I'll do some thank yous. Yeah. I want to thank Chris Earl for putting on the Oroville Tattoo Expo.
Absolutely.
Chris Earl and Jason Pistoresi for putting on the Fresno Tattoo Expo. Those guys are great for the expos. I love those
They're
guys.
the best expos. We can't say enough good about them. I'm always telling people, oh man,
They're
it's
fun
great.
expos.
Yeah,
These are expos for tattoo artists.
they're
that
real.
work. They're real.
tattoo, yeah,
Bunch of fun people.
yep,
They're fun. Thank
Yeah.
you to the Feather Falls Casino
yep,
for having us here.
yeah. What time is it? It's
Oh,
midnight.
thank you guys for selling good supplies to us at the expos. I
You're
enjoyed
welcome. It's our pleasure. We take great joy in bringing fun stuff. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. Taking care of people and.
that. I'll thank my mom and dad real quick because they always encouraged my art.
There you go. Yeah,
That was good
yeah.
for me.
He draws well. Maybe he should tattoo. He could be on Ink
Oh,
Master
no,
one
they
day.
never thought that was
I
good.
know. I know.
They didn't I don't think I showed them a tax return for at least 10 years. You know why for that. But
well, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think I showed them a tax return, so they never thought I really made money until they saw my tax return. I'm like, hey, just so you guys shut the fuck up about me getting a real job one day. There you go. Check that out. Oh, okay. We're sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
Real job. I got that.
But I
the
work
first-
for it. It's not just easy. It doesn't come to me.
Yeah.
I work for it.
Yeah.
So.
I got the real job thing forever too. It was a lot of fun.
Are you seriously still sitting in the same place?
Yeah.
Yeah, butter.
Big Butter Bo in the house. Anywho, yeah, the real job thing's funny. I got it for about 5 years until my mom needed some money, and I bought her some money. And,
Right.
Yeah, shut the fuck up real quick
That's a
about
fun
that.
one.
Yeah, and then you're tired. You can't help out around the house. You're just sit and draw all day.
Yeah.
I wish it was that fucking easy.
It's mentally and visually draining.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Yeah, it is. It
Sometimes
is.
emotionally.
Yeah, depending on the client. But yeah, moms and dads are important for sure. You know, if you have both, it's great. If you have just one, as long as they're supportive, it's important.
Yeah,
That's
it
one of
helps.
the things I try to explain to kids who want to get into it. I'm like, man, if you got a spouse, they better be all about it.
Yeah,
Because there's going to be a lot of sacrifices to be made.
it does help.
know?
Yeah, if they're selfish in ways that doesn't help that out,
No,
it
no.
doesn't help at all. It
Yeah.
makes it way harder for you.
Yeah, you need your parents on board.
But you also got to, a lot of us tattoo artists are selfish people.
Oh, for sure.
We like to do things the way we like to do things and not give and not meet in the middle with the spouse or anybody
Yep.
because we're so independent
Yeah.
artist type and stuff like that. So yeah, it takes a strong woman to make you realize that too.
Yeah.
If you're a man or even a strong man, if you're a girl tattoo artist sometimes. But yeah, trying to meet in the middle about stuff that you never had to for
Yeah.
a long time because you never had a real relationship. Because a lot of us tattoo artists tend to not grow up so fast.
Oh,
We
yeah.
get our way a lot of the times, so it's like it takes a
Peter
long
Pan.
time. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely Peter Pan.
It took me a long time to really grow up and realize that what I need to do in a good relationship because I was like, I'm drawing all day, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go do something? Fuck, I guess I'll take you out.
Right.
Oh, but you didn't put any thought into it. Oh shit, I've been thinking about making money all week. I'm
I've been
sorry.
thinking about what my clients need.
Yeah.
Because they're needy.
Which
They need a
also
lot.
they're needy, but we're needy and
Yeah.
needing that as well.
Yeah.
So finding that workplace home balance as a tattoo artist is really hard sometimes.
Yeah. It's
'Cause
one of the bigger
we're
challenges.
we're at home sometimes on that couch in a blanket with TV going on, social media, and drawing at the same time,
Mhm.
and not giving our attention to something that needs it.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. I'll leave you with a funny story about the selfishness of artists. The first time I met Lyle Tuttle
Yeah.
was in Hawaii at the 2012 Expo, the first year, and Sullen TV had just kind of been invented, and they were following around Gil and Rick and Lyle, and all these kids out there didn't know who they were. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh man, why is Sullen following these old dudes around?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Who the fuck are they? And I'm like, they're the ones that we're standing on their shoulders.
We're on their shoulders, right?
We have jobs because of the shit they went through.
They went through.
tattooed
They
when it
drew
wasn't
stuff
cool.
that never was before.
Yeah, they did it when it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
It was in back alleys, and you might get stabbed to death.
It might
for
be
10
against the law.
bucks.
I mean,
Yeah.
in New York for the longest time.
Yep, all that. So Lyle comes around, and he was collecting shit for his museum as usual, business
Yeah.
card stickers, just all that stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm grabbing some for my buddy. And I said, oh, for Hank, the museum,
Yeah.
back when that was still a thing. And I was like, dude, I know who you are. I was like, you can take as many as you want. I grabbed the box and dropped the whole box of stuff in front of him. I said, you can have all of it. And I reached out to shake his hand, and I said, I just want to thank you. I said, I know these kids around here have no fucking clue who you are. I said, but I do.
Yeah.
And I said, I know I have a career because of you. And I'm shaking his hand, and he pulls me in real close, and he goes, you want to know something, kid? What's that, Lyle? He goes, I didn't fucking do it for you. And he looked me dead in the eye when he said it. I about spit in his face. I laughed so fucking hard. Oh, I almost fell over dying laughing.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't fucking do it for you. I always have held that story dear. I love that story because I remember when he died.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh, thanks, Lyle. You know, good luck. You know, we're all here because of you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just wanted to put it out there, but I never
do it
did.
for you.
I didn't fucking do it for you, kid." Oh, that was the best.
You ever do a $10 tattoo? Shut the fuck up, then.
Right? You ever tattoo on all 7 continents? He did. He was the first one. Yeah,
Man,
he put a call out for
that should
everybody.
be a special fucking tattoo right there.
It should.
If you have, like how sailors would get certain things for their marks and doing something.
Sparrows and nautical stars and all the good stuff.
Oh, that'd be a fun tattoo
All
to
7
think
continents.
of.
Well, he's the first one to do it.
Yeah.
We owe him a lot, man. He made tattooing so fucking popular with the hippies.
Yeah.
Yeah. First and only person ever to be on Rolling Stone and Life magazine as a tattooer.
Yeah.
Well, he did a lot for himself, as we all do. But yeah. Well, appreciate you being on.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. How can people get a hold of you if they want to get tattooed by you?
You can get a hold of me from my Instagram is Danny the Machine, or Don't Tell Mom Tattoo is the name of my shop, or DTM Tattoo. You know, you got to make extra ones every once in a while.
Yep.
All of my social medias and my YouTube channel is the same thing. Danny the Machine.
Okay.
Whatever.
We'll bring it up on screen for everybody, and I suppose post it in the description as well, so people can find you if they like this interview and want to check you out further.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Appreciate you, bud. Have a good night, and let's kick ass tomorrow.
Oh yes.
Thanks again to Chris and Feather Falls, and this expo is awesome. And if you're in the neighborhood next year, come check us out. Yep, and this episode was brought to you by Working Class Tattoo Supply. As you've heard in this interview, it's a good place to get tattoo supplies that are owned and operated by tattooers that give a shit about tattooing. So check us out and catch us on the next one.
Thank you.